Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And I know I've already made a video on terrain, but that was a very long time ago, and I'm not as bad as I was before, and I think there's a lot of things that I could have done differently, so I'm going to remake that video. And first we're going to go look at examples in the actual Battle Royale map. So I'm going to land right over here, kind of next to that IO base, and I'm going to look at how the terrain transitions from the cube terrain to the regular terrain, and we're going to use that as an example for what we're going to do in our map or our creative terrain. So there's people over there, but land right here, just get a few weapons so they don't just kill me, and then I'm gonna head over here, and you see they actually like copy and pasted this, and it looks very similar across, but you can see how it's perfect. It's so perfect. That's because you can't really do that in creative because we don't have as much ability as they do, but you can see how even the corrupted terrain is like shiny, and it's almost like desert. But yeah, you can't really do the same thing. Anyways, now when we go back to our creative map, in our creative map, you're going to want to get two galleries, the Sand Gallery and the Sharks, Caves and Cliffs Gallery. And then you're going to place them down. Right next to each other. And I'm going to take these and I'm going to make a little sandy terrain area. So you can place them down, make a little mini desert, so then we can show the transition. Now, to use these, they don't line up super well, so you kind of have to mess with them. But you can really do a lot with these. They're really nice to have because before we only had flat sand pieces, so to have like these slopes is really nice. But yeah, and then you can take these little pieces and just kind of put it all together. And you'll probably want to turn off grid snap and just readjust this because this doesn't go with this gallery. So because we don't have flat sand pieces. The gallery does have curves, but they're smaller and they're not flat, so I don't want to use those. You might be able to flip them upside down and use them, but I'm pretty sure that's a stone, and it might not line up correctly, so I just use that. And then up here, we're going to put some grass, like grassy terrain. So this will be kind of like our normal terrain, and then the desert will be kind of like our corrupted terrain, to show an example. And you're going to want to go and grab these grass pieces. And these things, they're not really solid, and so they have little bits of grass, and they actually really work well for transitioning, because you saw before it was just like from desert to plains like instantly. And now we have kind of a transition, but you can look in there and you can kind of see it. So to make it look a little bit better, we'll take this and then we can just place it there, and now you have a little bit less of a way to see it. And if you layer these and you put a lot of them, it's a lot less easy to see it. Now, if we go over to here and we go back to our Battle Royale map, now if we go look at this, there is a mountain. Now the mountains are like, you can't climb up this mountain. This specific part, you can't climb up it because it's a slope. And then over here, just give me 1 second, there's a bunch of little hills. You can see those. There's little hills everywhere. These aren't super difficult to make. You just kind of make small mountains. So yeah. And then I'm going to just collect some loot real quick. And because I gotta have something so I can actually live long enough to make the video. And we're gonna go back to our map, and I'm gonna show you how to make the mountains and hills. So now you're gonna want certain pieces to do this. So I'll just grab one of these And then, yeah, this should work. So then we turn this sideways, kinda. And we can just place them. And we'll kind of make a little hill. And I think these work pretty well, and they look pretty good. So you can kind of make them overlap and make a little slope. And now, to make them look nicer, there's a number of different ways you could really make them look nicer. So you could either do like this. Now, I'm really bad at doing it this way, and using these to kind of slope it down at the bottom. It's possible, but it's really terrible when I do it. So I don't typically use this. It would look a lot better if you were actually good at it, unlike me. But there's this, and then you could also just, let me delete these. I'm gonna delete this mess. But you could also just use the same pieces that you used to make the whole mountain, and you could just tilt them more, or like shrink them down or something, and just kind of put them right here, and it makes it a little more sloped and less like straight. So now we're gonna want a part of the mountain that you can actually go up. So I'm gonna do my best. But so you want to start with like something like this, and really you just have to kind of work with it until eventually you can make it all kind of fit. It's a bit of a difficult challenge, but with enough work you can make do with it. Now, like maybe if you can't make this line up, you could tilt it. I'm gonna try to line it up, but it's probably not gonna work. And I had drops on too, so that didn't help. But yeah, you like tilt it, and then you can make these little things that cover the crevices. Just make it a little bit better. Now eventually you're going to want to make it curve around so you can actually walk on top of the mountain, and it doesn't just make a little hill that you can't even get up on. Now if this is a battle royale map, you can also build up here, so I wouldn't worry about making it too easy to get up, as long as there's some way to get up without mats, because it's not really as good if you can't get up there without mats, because it just doesn't make sense. And there's not a single one in the actual battle royale map that you can't get up, but it wouldn't be terrible if you couldn't. It would just not be convenient to your map, because sometimes you just don't have mats, so you want to be able to make it possible to get up there without mats. Because like you see those clips and stuff where they get stuck somewhere down at the bottom of the mountain with no mats, and the storm closes in and kills them. But that would happen all the time on your map if you didn't have certain spots where you could actually get up the mountain. But yeah. So you just gotta kind of pick pieces and try to make everything fit. And once you do, it'll look pretty nice. And the more you have to use, honestly, the better, because it gives you more texture to your terrain. And I would use these, and you can't really use grid snap when you're doing this. So you can just try to line everything up. And it doesn't always look perfect, but you can make do with what you got. And I'm going to probably speed this up, so you don't have to sit here and watch me struggle for too long. And I'll be back after the time lapse. Now, as you can see, what I've been doing is use these little pieces, shrink them down, and make your edges look better, because I've had little holes in there. So it just kind of helps out, and you just got to fill in those little crevices. It's kind of like trim on a house. You can kind of fill in, because like if you remove the trim on a house, it would have little holes in between the floor and the walls. So if you put this, it's like putting trim, and it just gives it more curve, and it makes it look a little better. It just helps out. So yeah, and I'm gonna head back to the Battle Royale Island now. And we're gonna finish this game. So let's see if we can win this match. Oh, come on. Alright, so we're gonna go this way, and oh no, I don't want any part of that. No. No caretaker for me. We just gonna go this way. I've just been running for my life this whole time. I got some shield now. And we're just gonna loot this place, get a bounty. And doing pretty good so far. I think I might actually win this. Whoa. Someone over there. Oh god. Yeah, I said I might win this. I did not win that fight. I'm gonna end the video here and see you guys next time.